I'd like to talk a little bit about 2024 and how the farm came into it and how we're leaving it. I think it's important you understand what it's been like. So beginning in 2024, January, we were informed that we had to leave our location that we had been at for the previous 11 years by August. So that gave us 7 months to pack up and find a new home. A week after we were informed that, we were told by the Hendersonville Chamber of Commerce that we won the Nonprofit of the Year award. So what started out very shaky, then something wonderful happened from it. Well, over the next several months, as we kept looking for a new home, looking everywhere, 35, 40 different properties, nothing was talking to us. We eventually moved off of that property, still not having any place to call home. 2 weeks after that, I'm working from my home, I'm working from coffee shops. I see a post online. I call my realtor. That was on a Friday, we were out here on Monday. Monday afternoon, I called the board. Wednesday, they're out here. Wednesday afternoon, we're calling banks. And now we're at our forever home. And it is better than anything that anybody could have ever imagined for the veterans, their families, our caregivers, and all the volunteers that come out here. So I'd like to show you around the farm. It's not complete. We've got a year or two away from that, but this is where we're going to start, and I want to share my vision with you of what it's going to be. So behind me is the main house, and this is a 3-bedroom, which now becomes 3 offices. One for myself, one for the Director of Operations, and then we have another larger space for visiting therapists to come in, whether it's neurofeedback or massage therapists, or anybody that's not on a regular basis that's going to be coming in and helping. We also have a very large kitchen, a large dining room, and a large living room, which will then become a veteran lounge with nice new furniture, big screen TV, coffee tables. In the training room, brand new training tables. We've never had an indoor training space before, so we always had to cut off for winter, and it hurt the veteran community. What do we do for those 3 or 4 months? Well, they don't have to. They come now to the farm. And as we always say, you can come and participate in anything or nothing at all. We also have our Director of Plant Medicine's office in there, who will continue processing all the different medicinal herbs and plants that her and her team put together that we give back to the veteran community. Oh, and we have indoor toilets. Woohoo! For the first time. So for the 11 years before that, porta-johns, which, you know, I got to tell you, anytime there's not a good season for a porta-john. So we've got 2 bathrooms. If you're coming out, don't worry about stopping at the gas station on the way. Just come on out. So the new Veterans Healing Farm sits on 11.6 acres, and I'd like to show you some of it right now. Part of it is this barn. I love this barn. We had one of our neighbors tell us a story, and this neighbor just had their 75th birthday. Told us a story. He used to play in this barn when he was a kid, and it's still as strong and as sturdy as it was the day it was made. We're going to be converting that barn into a produce wash station and a cooler, because part of our mission as we working together is agritherapy, growing the produce and the flowers that we give back to the veteran community. So that bottom area, we're going to be converting into that. The top area, the hayloft, which is another gorgeous spot, will be our second indoor classroom. So we'll be able to run 2 workshops simultaneously on the same day. As we come over here, the far building we'll again use for storage. We have one of our tractors in there right now. And this building right in front of us, which had been a workshop, but that is going to be where our manager of agriculture, that's going to be her new office. So we have to get some renovation done to that. Then as we come over, we've got 2 gas tanks, I mean real gas tanks. So one is unleaded, one is diesel. As we come over to this direction, in the back you'll see the horse ring, which when we do equine therapy in the past, they would come out and they would set up their own rope ring. They've already been out, they've checked it out, and they said, no, this is perfect. So we've got our equine therapy space built in right now where we're at. Now, as we move over to this direction, where you see again, that used to be a part of the horse barn type stuff, or horse lofts, which when we moved in, they were filled with horse poop. If you do farming, you love horse poop because it's such a good fertilizer. So we were thrilled that it was filled with horse poop. This is brown gold, North Carolina tea. Well, the first thing you know, Veterans Healing Farm's here. So everything that's covered in the black tarp right now is compost. So when we get into the spring season, we'll be taking that, putting it into the soil. This is all pasture land. It's always been livestock. So this will be the first time we're planting, which I think is going to be a wonderful place to start. And with that compost, it's going to be even better. Now, as we stretch across, there's a creek that runs down a stream. It's a spring-fed stream which feeds our pond. So on the other side of that, our property goes from, there's a little bridge right there, and it goes up to the road, and there's a nice flat space back there, which is where we're going to have the Veterans Memorial Garden. And this will be a place where anybody can come, a nice, quiet, meditative place with benches and flowers and nice memorials to those that we've lost and where their families can come. So we're really excited about putting that in place, and we hope to have that done by this summer. Now as we come back to the front of the other side of the stream towards us, that's where we're going to put in a small stage. I say small, maybe 5-6 musicians on it, because where it sits right there, looking back up to the hill, it's like an amphitheater. And so you can sit anywhere on the property and you'll be able to hear the music. So we'll have that put in place. And then this area that we're looking at right now that's fairly flat is where we'll start putting our produce gardens, our flower gardens, our tomato gardens, and our medicinal herb gardens. So this is our 2-acre spring-fed pond. And at the end of it is a spillway. So even during Helene, which did such devastation to western North Carolina, as the waters rose here, they moved over it. So we had no flooding whatsoever at the farm. So this 2-acre spring-fed pond is filled with bass and catfish and bream. And we also have grass carp in there to cut back on the grass and help the health of the pond. So what we'll be doing is we'll have a small dock that goes out there, but otherwise it'll just be nice to fish from shore, and it'll be catch and release, or just to bring a lawn chair down and sit here and just listen to the peace of the place, which I want to let everyone know. The foundation of the Veterans Healing Farm, the basis that everything else grows upon, is first is safety. And when I say safety, it's not a physical safety. It's a safety, come wherever you're at. Just come here is what we want. There's no judgment. We don't ask for referrals. We don't ask for DD-214s. We just want you to come. Come and feel safe here. That's the foundation. Now on top of that is where we start with peace. And it's the peace of the property. It's the peace of the birds, of the water, of nature, and the healing power that that has. Then we start our programs. And the programs are all our workshops, all our events, all our volunteering. But you don't have to do any of that. Just come and be. Let's start with that.